Berserk is a manga known for its incredible artwork that is both captivating and expertly crafted to tell the story that Miura wanted to, and involves emotionally draining and blood-boiling moments that contribute to it being the best manga of all time. Obviously, in my opinion. One of the central themes within the story is conflict, however, and today I'm going to discuss some of my favourite battles in Berserk. I've made a list of my top 5 personal fights, with factors such as hype, impact, and spectacle considered. This is my own preference, of course, so you may disagree, and feel free to let me know your own in the comments, but let's get into it. For me, this was the hardest one to rank, actually, as I couldn't think of a fight as meaningful to me as all the ones above this, but with that being said, at 5th I have Guts versus the Bug Pseudo-Apostles during the Lost Children chapter. I love this fight mainly for one reason, and it's the finishing move that Guts uses that truly highlights his ability to calculate in the heat of battle and fully utilizes his weaponry. We get to see Guts' deranged personality whilst fighting the smaller bugs early on, which is always fun, and of course his unbridled rage that fuels his fights. Miura perfectly illustrated Guts' anger and exhaustion during the fight, and this helps us really feel Guts' emotions. That, coupled with some elite action shots such as the front flip to avoid the pincer move, really had me hyped on the first read. The latter part of the fight, the stakes once again raised, with the superior bugs posing a serious threat to Guts as they outnumbered him but also had competent teamwork, meaning Guts was pushed to his limits in order to beat them. However, with the use of his arm cannon to blast momentum into his swing, Guts takes down both at the same time, and it looks really fucking cool. At 4th, I have the Guts vs Griffith rematch in the Morning Departure chapters. This fight is certainly not long or especially action-filled, however the impact and underlying character developments it causes makes it one of the most important moments within the entire manga, and Guts gets his bittersweet but badass he is him moment. This, coupled with beautiful artwork such as this, makes it an easy reread, and even I'm not sure who will win the duel each time. We get some deep introspection from both characters as Griffith's controlling personality is becoming more apparent, with his possessive need to either have Guts or kill him so no one else can. This is the pinnacle of Guts' resolve to venture out to find his own purpose instead of keeping warm by the fires of other people's dreams, and the progression of his might as a warrior is highlighted through the instantaneous defeat of Griffith. We also see Casca's view on Guts, whom she has warmed up to since they first met, and does have a desire for him to stay, and overall the duel encapsulates many characters' developments, and unfortunately the beginning of the end for the Golden Age. To finish it off, we receive a beautiful quote that tragically shows the naive nature of Guts, as he believes that this will not affect Griffith in the long run. Spoiler alert, it kinda did. At number 3, I have the debut of the Berserker armor and Guts versus the Apostle Onslaught. The hype for this fucking armor was unreal. Miura teased it for a while, and when Guts finally gets into it, the true beast of darkness is unleashed. Whilst many criticise Guts' use of magic within the story as it somewhat detaches from the pure human strength symbolism that Guts represents, it is a much needed addition in my opinion, as his opponents were simply too powerful, and without Batman level plot armor, Guts would simply die eventually. The fight is obviously drawn amazingly, Grumbell's true form looks great, the artwork of the armor is stunning, and the bestial change in Guts' fighting style is clear to see, which I love. Him stunting on Grumbell was cool as fuck, especially when he broke the Warhammer and caught the dragon form's tail. The broken bones and limbs being forced back into place as blood gushed from the gaps within was horrifyingly gruesome, and overall was a perfectly executed introduction for the Berserker armor. I also appreciate that it is a double-edged sword for Guts, as it maintains the sense of risk and doesn't fall into the shonen trope of easy power-ups with no drawbacks. Naruto. To finish it off with one of my favourite panels from Miura, with Guts looking exhausted but relieved he's managed to protect his loved ones, is just the chef's kiss. Perfecto! In second is the most emotionally draining event of the entire manga, and no, it's not Adonis getting packed up by Guts. Rest in peace Adonis, you didn't deserve it. The eclipse for me is undoubtedly the most traumatic event within Berserk, and whilst calling it a fight is an understatement and probably just not accurate, a slaughtering would be more fitting, the eclipse holds my most emotional moments with the manga, and I love it at the same time as hating it. Judo's last stand was tragic yet heroic, and I still miss his character to this day. He was wise and chilled, and no one has really filled the hole he has left as of yet for me. I was so hyped for Bloodlusted Guts to shit on the Apostles after he sees the death of Gaston and Pippin. The first time I read the panels of his rage, I literally thought the drawings were moving themselves, and I still get goosebumps to this day about it. The bloodbath is so well drawn and depicts the truly hopeless situation to a perfect level, and I've never felt a more futile state in other works of fiction. Guts was the only one who could keep pushing, possessed by the most primitive drive of survival, and his continual fighting is a testament to his unbreakable will. His scream to Griffith was so moving and established the permanent shift between their relationship, especially after Femto does the thing to Casca, and sets the stage for the birth of the Black Swordsman, as we finally understand Guts to a complete degree. Overall, it is an amazing yet brutally horrendous spectacle that involves massive tonal shifts and character developments, and to this day, it's still fuck Griffith and fuck the ops. Now, before we discuss my favourite Berserk fight, I would like to switch it up for a minute. I have been singing Miura's praises throughout the video, however he is a human and can miss sometimes. There are a number of fights that I don't enjoy reading or find a bit overrated, and one of them is the Mozgus fight. Once again, this is simply my opinion, so if you disagree, it is what it is. Whilst I love the Conviction arc finale as a whole, the main fight between Guts and Mozgus has always been lacking to me, and it's mainly due to the character design of Mozgus. I just really dislike his design, especially his face. It just seems too cubic and out of place with the other character designs. There isn't really anything mind-blowingly unique about him either, beyond the strong skin shell he has, but not once did I think Guts wouldn't just tear through him eventually. This coupled with the strange pseudo-apostle form just never really clicked with me. The fight itself has never been that alluring to me, as it seems kinda bland in the way Mozgus fights, just smacking Guts over and over, and seems really goofy, especially with the God Thousand Fist cannon that seemed like something straight out of One Piece, like Luffy's Gatling gun. The Shakespearean type of language Mozgus was using also got quite annoying quite quickly, and I was relieved when Guts finally packed him up, not because it meant the gang won, just so I didn't have to hear his ugly mug any longer. Beyond the issues I have with Mozgus, the artwork of other characters is amazing and the arc on a whole is great, but yeah, just a fight I see people like a lot, but I personally don't find much enjoyment from it. Time for the best fight in Berserk, and whilst the rest has been opinion, this one is factual and you simply cannot disagree with me because I'm right. My favourite fight within Berserk is Guts vs Rosine. The thing I love about this fight the most is the presentation of Guts. He is so raw and animalistic while striking fear as some ominous figure within the flames, like an apex predator waiting for his time to strike. The monstrous nature of Guts creates a sense of nuance within who to root for, and of course we all stayed on Guts' side, but we can understand Jill's perception when she said, for an instant swaying inside the blaze, he was the one who looked more like a terrifying monster to me. That line coupled with the flame-drenched Guts gave me chills the first, second and third time of rereading, and Miura's artwork once again amazes me. The build-up for this fight is equally as disturbing. The Lost Children chapter is one of the most fucked up creations ever, that ultimately reflects the real-life challenges of growing up and struggles that children face, especially in abusive families. Seeing the burning children and Guts' severe cracks in sanity as he accepted what he had to do to survive was mental, and it really did make me fear for the path he was taking during this time. And I'm not even going to discuss the child elves and their adult attacks, because yeah, nightmare fuel. Rosine as an antagonist was also really good, as we felt a small sense of sympathy due to her being basically a child forced into an adult life, and while she attempted to maintain the purity of childhood values, she had now become a twisted apostle, and Guts would show no mercy for any of the demon kind. Guts' pain tolerance is also cool to see, being pierced and brutalized multiple times but keeping conscious on his rage and lust to harm shows his true dedication to the cause he fights for, and again his battle intelligence being broadcast with the fast deduction of Rosine's speed and allowing himself to be caught by her in order to get close with his arm cannon. The fight is honestly just amazing in all aspects, and the brilliant ending to The Lost Children, as Jill learns the only way to keep going is by accepting what is and trying to do the best you can with what you have. I'd also say the fight holds a higher merit due to the animated version, which is amazing for a fan project, and I'm sure you've already seen it as a Berserk fan, but I'll leave a link to it in the description. But anyways, yeah, that's my top 5 Berserk fights. Hope you enjoyed, and peace out.